defa onları yerle bir etmek için buradayım.
Her şey bitti. Çok geç kaldı bu savaşa. Beni orada The mythical beasts fall. Wildcats roar.
Alles stand in Flammen. Aber jetzt ist die Zeit für Rache.
Napotkałem na swojej drodze wiele trudności, jednak tym razem nic mnie nie powstrzyma. ¿Quieres demostrar al resto que es un brilla?
On vous a manqué. Il est temps de reprendre ce qui nous appartient.
Hello everybody and welcome to the EMEA Masters. My name is HitBrain and I am joined by Trouble. We are reunited after what's been a very long year. How are you doing, Trouble? You alright?
I'm doing really well. It was a banger day yesterday. So happy to have you back, Keeper. We haven't casted in a very, very long time. I think it was like last EMEA Masters over in spring, which now talking about it, it kind of seemed like yesterday.
It honestly, time has flown so fast. I was saying to you during the tech rehearsal and everything that it feels like Christmas was last week. But no, we are well into summer and the second day of the EMEA Masters as well. I'm very excited to see this because yesterday was a banger. We had some really brawly games. Looking at the teams today as well, I don't think we're not going to get delivered on as well. I think we got some really, really good teams coming up and I just want action. You know what I'm like, Trouble. I want the action. I want the fighting. I want mistakes. They're the most fun parts.
You want the action? Well, here's action on your screen. The highlights from yesterday's games were great. This particular one is our producer's favorite. He chose it as the support play of the day as well. Oscure takes no prisoners at all. You're not going to do the typical Hillisang where you push your AD carry's wave. Without your AD carry there, you're going to die. So really good stuff right there. But of course, the elephant in the room, GTZ, the Portuguese org. There has not been a Portuguese org in group stage at the EMEA Masters since 2019 summer. And this team was 2-0 up in their groups, up of course until they faced Wildcats. And one of the other teams that they brought down on their way was Bison, that had a very, very disappointing day going down 0-3.
Yeah, really, really disappointing game. Day from Bison. 3 games. Absolutely horrific, but it was a lot of upsets. It was a lot of action, and just that Aurelia play that we had on our screens a moment ago might be the sickest Aurelia play I've ever seen here. so clean. Cocker not getting that pentakill on the Tristana, but just an absolute banger day and a huge 3-man Malphite ultimate. Just carnage. I want it today. Just more carnage, more action.
Well, that particular game with Wildcats and GTZ was carnage. It was 40 minutes back and forth. There were so many skirmishes. Our producer said, I'm queuing up the highlight reel. And I'm like, which one? There was literally highlight fight after highlight fight after highlight fight. Unfortunately for the Portuguese org, they could have had the 3-0 start on their groups, but it was cut short by former EMEA Masters champions Istanbul Wildcats. They managed to go 3-0 up on the day, but of course it's not a slouch that the Portuguese org went 2-0. Now of course the last game of the day was Bisons versus Anonimo, the first seed out of the Ultra Liga that actually managed to pick up the first victory of the day right at the last step, right before that first day of group stage was finished for them. So again, Bison's kind of disappointing start together with Anonimo, but I think Portuguese fans will be very, very excited to see the conclusion of the group stage later on this week, with GTZ having such a good footing into that group stage.
I think, yeah, absolutely. If you're a Portuguese fan, you're going to be so happy, though you lost that game. Look at that. They're doing amazing. For a region that hasn't done that great, and also, speaking of regions that haven't done that great, Italy's Matchco, yeah, they made it into playoffs last time for the first time ever, but they are top of Group C. KC are 2-1 right now. They lost to Matchco yesterday over in Group C. That is a real big upset.
Oh, absolutely. Also having Kamen Corp coming back, Natives, which is the first seed from the NLC. You've got NLC and Kamen Corp in the same group. The old faithfuls from 2021, 2022 will know what happens when you have these two in the same group or have them face off. But the fact that Matchko was able to beat them and Anno and solidify themselves 3-0 up in Group C is such a great head start when it comes to going into the second phase of groups. You have that 1-0 up on every single team. So even when it comes to tiebreakers, you will have that better footing going forwards towards the quarterfinals. And quite honestly, Matchko did take that one step forward. In spring, they did manage to make quarterfinals for the PG Nuts. They could do it again.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where I looked at the groups before everything came in, and obviously I'm from NLC. I've got a little bit of bias on that front, and I was like, okay, scary KC are in this group, but honestly, this is a group we can get out of. Like, we'll probably just take a second and get out from there. But with Matchko getting that 3-0 start, I am really sweating now. That's pretty scary stuff. Obviously, today, though, we are going to be covering Group B here on this broadcast. We got some really good games coming up as well. This is what we got in Group B. We've got SK Prime, AB, BKR, and DSYR. I completely forgot their name.
DSYRE. All good,
DSYRE, thank you.
I got you.
We got some good games coming up, though. We've got some really stacked teams. We're very excited by this one. We will have a little bit of a run through them as the day goes on, but honestly, we got some names you'll know over on SK Prime. Some names maybe you won't know if you don't follow some of the other regions and the ARLs, but some serious talent in this group. I'm expecting some really, really good games coming out. It's pretty hard to call it. I think a lot of people are going to be leading towards SK Prime just due to like the kind of veterancy of the players on that team. But I think we got some... they could be challenged. I mean, these guys could seriously be challenged.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like SK Prime are coming in as the favorites right now. They had an absolute breeze through Prime League, the 3 old Unicorns of Love in the regional finals as well to win the Prime League title. But then we also have second seed of the Ultraliga. Ultraliga is looking for redemption. Anonimo did not do well yesterday, going 1-2 on the first day. DSYRE, another PG Nuts team, another Italian team coming in the footsteps of Matchko. They've looked so good coming through that playing spot as well. And as we can see right now on our screens, Alior Bank team, they're not playing around. They're coming again from the Ultraliga, full Polish roster. Now, here's the funny thing, right? When Rogue got taken over by Koi, obviously Rogue was no longer a team over in the Ultraliga. Guess which team took their spot? It's Alior Bank team that took the good old Go Rogues spot with a full Polish roster. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know if that rings a bell, but 2020 was the year of the Polish teams, and these guys are coming in really, really hard. This is a very storied region with a lot of talent pool that has bled into the LEC year after year after year.
Absolutely, and especially keep in mind yesterday for Poland, they only went, I think it was 1-2 yesterday, so it wasn't a particularly good day. So now the second seed get to play. They have to do a bit of redemption for their whole region in general, because yesterday was not a particularly great start for them. Obviously, we do have two groups playing at the same time. Yesterday we had A and C playing. Today it's B and D. If you want to watch any of those Group B day games, make sure you head over to ESLOL over on Twitch, and you can see Group D and all the action that's going on over there. But over here on the main channel, we will be covering those Group B games, and like I've been saying, some absolute bang games. I'm very excited by Alior Bank. Obviously, we've got DSYRE on the other side from Italy. There's a few people in here who I think you're quite excited about. Eberos in the top lane, a Greek player, so a man after your own heart there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you are familiar with this player, you will most likely know him as Jaxplank before he renamed. He used to be a Gangplank and a Jax main. These two champions are still very feared when he comes onto the Rift. He still mains these two champions. But I want to say about this particular team, DSYRE, this is a playing team that slotted into this group. They beat the Turkish powerhouse Foot to get in groups, and very, very convincingly. We're talking Tempt in this team. We're talking Starscreen. We're talking Mojito. They took them down, and one of the key members of that particular team is Eberos up in the top lane. He brings, if you will, that Adam-esque feel when it comes to the playstyle with the bruises, with the fighters, and they do rely on him a lot to get that damage in. I think he had one of the highest damage percentages in the teams that were through the play-ins from the top lane.
Alrighty, well, we're into Champ Select. Let's see what Alior Bank are going to be banning away initially off the bat here. I feel like, yeah, you may have to look towards some of those top lane bans. Obviously, Rumble pretty expected as just a general top lane ban because that champion is very, very strong right now. But you may have to look to some of these more tailored top lane bans. The question is do DSYRE look to try and get that final counter pick at the end of stage, the last of Champ Select, their last pick, their 5th pick, should I say? Or do they look to try and get it a little bit earlier, expecting it might get target banned in that second ban phase? Ziggs coming out here from DSYRE, back with Alior ban, and they're going to get themselves on to that Maokai. Pretty standard bans coming in from our Polish representatives.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see if we're going to see a lot more top lane oriented bans, especially yesterday versus Wildcats and Destroy. We saw 3 bans, like 3 instantly on the first rotation. Right now, of course, we're getting rid of a lot of these junglers as well. Addy and Many are known to play that very aggressive mid jungle duo. A lot of AD fighters in the jungle for Addy, and Many is so good at facilitating for his jungle the Ares, the Azirs, anything that is needed to sort of give him that prior, to give him that 2v2 potential. He will do it. So for DSYRE, I think it's of pivotal importance to break that mid jungle duo or try to face them straight on. The Azir taken straight out of the picture. Don't want to be dealing with this. Now I think they're taunting Eberus a little bit, showing the Darius right there. He's one of his main champions that he's playing. Oh, well, okay, he's going to show it as well.
He returns in kind. He returns in kind. I don't expect this to be a blind Darius first pick, though.
Oh, you said that.
Rel, I mean, to be fair, these kind of like carry top laners are absolutely crazy, so maybe not. But the Rel, pretty standard pick here for Alior Bank. They're going to be able to pick that one up, moving over to DSYRE. Going for something maybe a little bit more traditional, picking up that Tristana, obviously very flexible between the mid and that bot lane for them as well. So there is a bit of room to kind of breathe on here, and we'll see. Most likely, okay, they are just locking the DSYRE, so they're revealing the Tristana mid immediately. I expected to see a support or jungle there, but no, DSYRE going, we are playing this Tristana mid, come at us.
Yeah, and honestly, something that Many has done against Tristana is his Ahri. His Ahri is currently sitting on 39 KDA from the Ultra Liga players. Absolutely mind-blowing. Jace is also a pretty good answer. Let's see what they can pair it up with in the jungle, because you can also put that Rel in the jungle. Does pretty well with Jace. You can also put something like a Sejuani if you want. That pairs up really well with melee mid lane. But it's not going to be the case. It's going to be a takeaway from DSYRE. And I think we're just about to enter a fiesta of top lane bans versus Eberus here from AB.
Yeah, I expect to see the Jax. I could see the GP as well come out if they want to go towards that. I think the Jax is almost a must, though, because we saw him over the PGN, and their team fighting with the Jax was so good. He's such a split push menace, but can also team fight. So it feels like a must ban in a way. Unless they have an answer for it, they could pick things like the Kennen, which actually synchros up very well with the likes of a Rel. And honestly, with that Alistar ban coming in, that screams to me that maybe something like the Kennen could rear its head here from Matix. Because you can just headbutt the Kennen out if he goes in with that ultimate. So maybe going to look towards that. We'll see what the answer is going to be. But DSYRE probably just looking to ban another jungler away here and just try and trim that pool as much as possible for Addy as the Kha'Zix gets taken away.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what Addy's going to end up playing right here, because I'm looking at the pool and it's getting a little bit trimmed. Trundle is usually something that you pick out versus the Sejuani. You take out all of the defenses, especially when she has the passive up as well. So she kind of becomes very squishy, and Matix is usually known for playing a lot of fighters in the top lane. Santos the Renekton, he's played the Olaf himself as well. The Jax is going to get banned away for Eberus. I don't think GP is going to be the case right here, but you are playing versus a poke-heavy composition. So from the side of DSYRE, they're looking mostly for hard engage. Make sure that you engage AB before they're able to take to put that pain down on you. Now, of course, AB are going to have to blind pick both their jungle, the top lane, and we'll see what they're going to choose for into the jungle. Taliyah right here actually would be so clever, and it's going to get locked in. Not sure if it's going to be in the jungle or the mid lane yet, but I feel like Taliyah is very clever, because you know Eberus is looking for that R5 counter pick to play aggressive down the up the top lane. But if you can stop that with Taliyah, I'm talking absolute rubbish, because Jace is locked in, so obviously Taliyah is jungle. But right now, that kind of like stops you from playing very, very aggressive over the top lane from Eberus. And let's see what he has to pick against something like a Renekton.
I mean, there was a little bit of flexible where they could have sent a row into the jungle and then put the Taliyah mid, but they decide actually Jace is not going to go top. They are going to put the Jace into that mid lane. Very poke heavy team for the side of Alior Bank here, and the response is now coming in from the side of DSYRE. What are they going to go into that top lane into Renekton? This isn't the worst matchup at all. If it had been that Jace top lane, I feel like they may not have played this Darius, but instant switch to the Ghost. Expect some early brawling. Two champions who are very snowbally when they get ahead in that top lane, and they've got a lot of they got a lot of poke to kind of back up that mid game. I mean, when you got the Talia, the Jace, the Kai'Sa, there's a lot of poke that can come in, but you've got the rail to kind of give you some engaged options as well. Pretty solid comp coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the Darius also is a champion that really likes melee heavy compositions, and AB have a poke composition. So unless you're fighting straight into the Renekton and the Rel, I don't see a way that Darius can very easily reach the backline, and they have a lot of poke from the side of AB. So the Sejuani ult, the Nautilus ult are going to be of pivotal importance from the side of DSYRE to try and catch key targets and possibly try to get that Darius on them. Ghost is also going to be of pivotal importance for the Darius. If you don't have the Ghost, you pretty much cannot play these fights. You cannot stick onto these squishy backline targets. So we'll see how Ebios is going to be piloting that Darius in the top lane.
I feel like he may lean in towards a kind of flanking angle or just play total split push. But if you want a team fight, flanking angle's there. But then it means it kind of all falls to Rylek to eat the poke, because if Zosnix eats any of that, he's just going to have a bad day. They do have pretty good engage, though, for DSYRE. So you kind of have that to keep your eyes on as well. Do have some pretty solid engage options with the Sejuani, with the Nautilus. Relatively non-committal as well with those ultimates. So we'll see how this game's going to be going out. But as we are starting up, you're going to see Alior Bank just come in and place a ward down onto Rylek. He's not going to be able to take that one out. Just getting a little bit of information gathering. No early shenanigans. I expect all of the early shenanigans to go down in the top lane. I think Matix and Emeros are going to be having a pretty explosive start to this first game.
Yeah, honestly, I really want the Sejuani to start towards the top side and end up towards the top. Because Sejuani, usually in the early game, you're farming for that level 6, but he's also a pretty potent ganker when it comes to playing with melee solo laners. Now, you don't have that in the mid lane, but what you have in the mid lane is a Tristana. So he can give you that priority. Jace has to burn through his mana bar to try and push the wave. Tristana kind of does this organically through her passive and the explosion. Ebios right here with the shy moves in level 1. He's gonna walk down and be a nuisance to that Talia. But if that continues, that means he's gonna be...
Ghost is popped. He's chasing. He's just gonna go on out of here. He's got the slow. Gonna keep that pressure up. There's the smite, the blue buff, and it looks like he's gonna be out. But Eberos burning that early Ghost. It's gonna lose a little bit out on that top side, but it won't be too heavy, provided that Matix doesn't punish him too hard here. And actually, it looks like he lost experience on maybe one minion, but honestly, the rest is gonna be there.
Honestly, that's fine. Your Sejuani is pathing towards the top side of the map. You have already spotted Talia, which means that Talia is gonna be heading towards the bot side of the map. So you're gonna have your jungle towards the top. You want the Renekton to push into you to try for a potential gank up the top lane. You still have eyes onto the Talia because you've popped down that ward on the top quadrant of Hadi's jungle. That Talia doesn't have flash, which means he's heavily susceptible to getting invaded, like we're seeing right now on our screens by the Sejuani. I feel like that level 1 from Ebios was so well calculated to try and get his team ahead, and he actually has. Getting counter-invaded by a Sejuani is kind of huge right now. He hasn't necessarily lost much in the top lane, even in CS, even in experience, and you've taken out a summoner, a very important summoner from a very mobile champion such as the Talia, and this is what we're talking about when we said that his team really relies on their top laner to get their game going, and that's exactly what he's done even on level 1.
Well, Zosnix actually getting himself a little bit of early poke off there onto Many. It's just going to shove the wave out.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, it's Sejuani. They've got the setup, and Matix is going to find himself caught, pinned, locked in place, but the juggling of the tower was not good. And Rylek just about limps out. But yeah, I guess they got the flash out of Matix, so full health. Rylek could just go for another dive if they want.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we were saying. You know, he's fine. He doesn't have the Ghost, but his Sejuani is heading topside. Sejuani is going to take the Scuttle Crab. She can wrap around to the jungle as well, clear the topside if you want to, then back, then head top lane again. That Renekton has no flash.
Oh, no!
Is punished?
Yeah, he's going for it. The flash, the knockback. Many just about survived. Zosnix, I think he just cancelled one too many autos, and he got a little bit panicked. is going to get himself chunked out. And Addy now coming in to see if he can find the punish. See if Zosnix can get away from this one. Has got his W up, so clears that wall. As Addy going in for the chase, but he's just leading him towards Rylek, who Addy able to see the pair of them here. Zosnix doesn't have that flash. He's just being run down. This is so dangerous. He's got the blast cone. No way! Delivers him in. First blood over to Addy as Emperos is coming in. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, there is some action breaking out. Rylek is going low, but down goes Addy in response. The bleed for Imperios is over on the bottom side of the map. It's just carnage across the board. And the Italian team walk away with 3 kills after it all.
Honestly, huge win. Epiros roams for that fight, grabs himself a kill, grabs the whole wave top lane that was shoved. Bot lane with the 2-0 2v2 kill, getting that extra kill on the Xayah. 600 gold up now for the AD carry of the Italian team. And Zonix, he's in trouble again.
Yeah, it looks like Zosnix able to jump away this time, though, with that rocket jump. So, may be all right. Didn't have to burn a summoner spell there, but as we are just going to go back to the replay, assume we're going to see what happened down in the bottom side, because just a lovely little hook to start it off, and then a little bit of a turnaround.
Yeah, and the rel engage works as well, but I think Spence is in a very... Oh my god, that flash. I was about to say he's in a very particular position where he can get hit by a lot of feathers, and that was the case. I feel like that flash pullback on the feathers was insane. Nash, we've known him from playing back when he was playing on the NOC. He loves playing his engaged champions, particularly the Nautilus has been one of his go-tos, and he's not scared to take these fights. Great stuff from the Italian team to get about 1,000 gold up in the early game. 5 minutes in, 1,000 gold up. This is absolutely huge, and it's also landed on the correct champions and the correct players on their team. One of the AD carry, one of the top lane that you want them both to carry.
All right, sniffing around the bot lane now, seeing if he can set a play up. Addy also in the area. Rylek hasn't been spotted. Got the Arctic Assault over the wall, but Addy's coming in at the perfect opportunity. Spots him out. The flash from Nash misses out on the dredge line. Does look like it's just going to be a bit of a done deal on that one, unfortunately. Addy's still hanging about, though, in case an opportunity does present itself.
Yeah, and things have slowed down just a little bit. Addy is waiting, of course, on the side because the wave is being pushed in, so you definitely don't want to be leaving your team open for a gank right there from the Sejuani. And if anyone moves forward or walks forward, you can actually start and engage. There are no summoners on both the bot laners from the side of DSYRE. Addy's going to show himself up. He's going to help shove in that wave. But Tristana having the priority mid, it means that you can walk down river, help the Sejuani. First dragon secure. They're going to spot them now with the Kaiser W, but it's going to be a little bit too late. First dragon also goes to DSYRE. That's a great start for the Italian team. They're literally stepping right on Matchko's footsteps.
Yeah, really, really nice start for them here. Italy is a region, you know, one that we've written off for a very, very long time. Maybe 2023 is the year where they start to show us, but they're a region. Well, they've arrived because they've never really been here.
Okay,
finally showing up to the party. As Zosnix just can get himself a little bit of poke off onto Many. Many does answer back somewhat. But yeah, I mean, Matchko, you know, we had a good season from the PG Nats last split over in spring, and now summer looks to be starting off pretty solid here for the PG Nats. So yeah, finally, it feels like Italy is starting to show up as a region you really want to keep your eye on. So are we going to get on the hype train, or is it a little bit too early to leave the station?
Hey, I'm all aboard the hype train, you know. I love a good underdog story. I felt like Greece was going to be, and the GLL was going to be the region that would bring the underdog story, but it's actually PG Nats, and I'm all here for it. Talking about PG Nats, DSYRE are on the way towards the top side of the map. Again, having Tristana made the Campema push for you is just so important. Jace can match her on the push, but Jace has to actually use a bunch of his mana to do so. Nash was the first one to back from bot lane as well. First one to hit mid lane. They're going to start the Rift Herald. They've got Eberos up in the top lane, who is about 500 gold up his counterpart. They do have that priority mid as well, so they're going to start that one off. We saw for a second Spence was heading towards that Rift Herald, but I feel like the call has been made overall from AB to not contest that Rift Herald. So it's going to be Dragon, it's going to be a Rift Herald, it's going to be a bunch of tower platings down the bot lane for 80 North. It's all DSYRE's way.
Yeah, really nice there, actually. Getting a whole bunch of plates, a lot of gold injected, especially off the back of the X-Dragon earlier. Honestly, feels like DSYRE kind of just getting whatever they desire. They're just taking the map wherever they want. Nash coming in. They actually get everything down, beautifully placed. Many is able to flash away to safety, but Rylick just feels like a summoner burner. Wherever he goes, summoners do get burnt, and Zinov actually able to get himself onto that tower, get a plate as all the pullback actually comes in. Matix has to flash away, and it just feels like Alior Bank are playing with no summoners at all points. They're burning them constantly here, and it looks like bot lane not going to be any different. Evianov trying to get away onto the side. He's just going to make this an ADC versus ADC fight, getting really scrappy down there, getting a whole bunch of damage off of the flash forward from Rylick. The feathers go forward, do not come back. Addy gets a little bit of damage in response onto Rylick, but Rylick's already got himself one, and Zosnix jumps straight into the pocket of Many. He's found himself in the shop. He's low. He's able to survive. Many getting bullied around in the mid lane. Just carnage trouble.
Absolutely. I feel like DSYRE are out-laning and out-jungling everyone on the map currently. Rylick is at the right place at the right time. He has the priority throughout all of his lanes. He has used it to absolute freaking perfection. Every time his lanes give him an advantage, he takes an objective for it. Right there, the objective was take kills down the bot lane. That's the Joanny has a lot of jobs on the map. As you can see, his entire jungle is up, but getting kills and getting ahead in this laning phase is so of pivotal importance to them. This is how PG Nuts create chaos. They like the early skirmishes. They like getting ahead in the early game. And honestly, the way they've been playing the laning phase and they've been creating this pressure, Addy's under a lot of that.
Oh no, he gets pinned as well. He can't get to the blast gun, and Evanov able to find himself that kill. Eberos, he doesn't even care about that crocodile. He just wants to try and get that tower plate. Maybe he has to play it a little bit respectful to Matix, but I guess Matix only has the steel-plated caps and a longsword, so not particularly got full items, but I guess the same for Eberos as well, only rocking just those ninja tabbies as they used to be called and still are, as Matix just gets a little bit of damage off, nothing too much.
You refuse to say still caps? Still?
I said it a minute ago. No, they're still ninjas. They're still ninjas.
All right, so a lot of items have been built right here. Eberos, you mentioned how he's about 900 gold, almost 1k up, but he hasn't actually backed to cash that in. So he's technically on even footing when it comes to itemization versus that Renekton. So you definitely don't want to be taking your chances. Now, what I feel has been going wrong for AB so far is the fact that they haven't necessarily been able to utilize their mid-jungle duo. Again, every time these two guys play the game, they play for that mid-jungle duo pressure. They both play aggro champions, especially when it comes to the jungle. Addy is a carry jungler. We haven't seen that.
Oh, no way! He pulls it off again. Many's caught. Easy pick up there for DSYRE. He doesn't miss. And Addy actually taking a little bit more damage. They're just going to go in for the full kill. Double kill over the Zosnix, and he just had a 700 gold lead. That has now turned to a 1,300 gold lead. Grabs himself a plate as well. Is going to try and stick around and get a bunch of additional damage onto this tower. Kraken Slayer, he's got the attack speed, so DSYRE may be able to take this first tower blood into the mid lane and that plate to follow. Let's look at that again.
I don't know if you have a panic button when you're playing in a team, but if there was one, I think AB need to ring that one. Again, Many goes a little bit too far forward. He felt a little bit more safe, of course, because he had Addy there on the top side of the map, but they didn't know where this Sejuani is. Level 8 Sejuani, extremely tanky. 2 levels up from Zonix onto that jungler as well. Level 10 Tristana with a Kraken. Kraken bot lane, you get the second tower, you get that first tower in the mid lane before 14 minutes, full tower platings. You get the second dragon of the game, 7 kills to 1, 5,000 gold in the lead for the Italian team right here. And honestly, they have been playing so well. It all started with that level 1 from Eberos, and it snowballed from there on out. I think Rylick has been so great into reading his map and seeing where his priorities lie and where to be. His ganks have been impeccable. He's been playing on timers over and over again to make sure that his flashes are down whenever he's ganking. He has actually sacrificed a lot of his jungle to make these ganks work, and he's still not behind when it comes to farming versus Alior, who's extremely fast at taking down these camps.
Yeah, and I think that kind of comes down to Addy being very responsive to Rylick. Rylick is just controlling the tempo of this game right now, and everyone else is playing to the beat of his drum. Addy may actually look to try and make a play here onto Eberos, who has got 3 people in the area. Stunned, knocked back, just pinned down. No opportunity to move, as Many is able to secure that kill. Little bit of a disrespect there from Everosk, knowing that his whole team were on the other side of the map and just blind checking into bushes, but maybe you don't expect 3 people to rock up.
For you, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. What are we feeding these Italian teams, by the way? Like, these guys are just... It's like a completely different showing from any other year we've had.
Listen, Italian food is known to be one of the best worldwide. So I would assume some good pasta can produce this sort of performance. I'm just saying.
I mean, they've had good pasta for the previous iterations. Sven's plays the dodge game, holding that flash.
Honestly, the way that Rylick played this one, tried to force the flash out of Sven's, pretending he's going to throw the ult out, but not. That is 2 towers in 2 minutes and a jungler down.
That's a dead Addy, and the tower's down. Matix jumping into the middle of everyone. The Featherstorm comes up. Matix jumps out. Many insta flashes. They do get a big amount of damage off there, and there's a lovely little turnaround, a shutdown. Gifted over to Many. Is Efanoff able to just about get away from this one, and DSYRE starting to crumble, but here comes the Darius to make the turnaround. Can he do it? Many jumps in, gets pulled back by the Apprehend. Aprios gets a whole bunch of damage off to him, setting up for the dunks. There's one. There's the follow-up, and DSYRE make the play go their way. They find the kills.
I mean, honestly, I would give it to AB right here. They tried to make something happen. They see Darius all the way in the bot lane. This Darius is not spotting any teleport. It's Flash, Ghost. So you're trying to pick up a fight. You're trying to pick up a skirmish. You're trying to pick any shutdown that you can. It did not work for them. This fight went on for way too long. Darius ended up joining them, and then it went all the way downhill. Now it's another neutral objective that's going to go straight into DSYRE's pocket. It's going to be the second Rift Herald. And let's see Addy. He's going to ult all the way to the middle to try and defend a tower that is dead.
Real mistake on their behalf as well.
Also, look at the TP landing. The TP lands, and Many has to instantly flash out of there. It feels a little bit miscoordinated so far. I'm gonna give it to it being the first game of the day, but let's be honest right here. Ultraliga has not looked very hot at EMEA Masters in a long while. Anonymous being the first seed from the region did not do that great yesterday, and this is the region's hopes. Alior Bank team are currently representing Ultraliga in this particular group, and they need to do better than this. DSYRE coming in as the Plains team, they're coming in as the underdog, and they're doing so good so far.
Yeah, they're actually having a corker of a game. I mean, taking a quick stock of the items and the gold lead, every lane is up right now. Even the support, 1,000 gold lead in the support role, but you've got double Kraken Slayer, double BF swords on both Zosnix and AFNOP, and it might just be getting a little bit more here. So the Featherstorms come out, instantly flashed out by Addy. They get the charge off, and does look like there may be a play coming in. There's a long teleport from Matix coming in from a very different long way away. Zosnix has to jump away, but Matix has found him. He's in danger. Buster shots back for the moment. Buys himself a little bit of space. Nash on him to keep him alive. Heal comes out there as all it's going to take is a single W. Lovely little interrupt, but he does go down to Sven's on the back end. Matix getting a bit of damage in as Ebrios comes in for the first dunk, gets the second dunk, a double kill over to him. He's ghosting, he's flashing, triple kill over to Ebrios as he's chasing forward, gets the double apprehend, fails the dunk, but he does the damage, he does the work. 4 members of Alior Bank go down. The bleed almost finishes up their Kaiser as well, but DSYRE, they are running away with this game.
Oh, he was feeling the pentakill right there. They got pinched. AB, again, they give it their best efforts. They're trying the pinching method. They're trying the skirmishing method. They're trying the flanking method. Nothing works. DSYRE, that is another great ult by Rylick right there, getting the flash off of the Thalia. And then you see Matix is TPing in, but he's way too far away from this fight. He sees Zonix. Zonix is going to ult him away with the Tristana, and that Tristana survives way too long. It was actually a coincidence on the way that Zonix dies, because he sees the ult coming in from Thalia. He walks towards the left side of it, and he dies to a random Kalista W. If that had happened any other way, he would have actually walked out with that Thalia ultimate blocking the way for the Renekton to join. And Evers, of course, Flash Ghost right here will not get... Oh,
he ulted the wrong person.
He ulted the Rel right there instead of the Kaiser. This could have been your pentakill, but you messed up a little bit. It's fine. Still 5-2-1.
I think at the end of the day, like a small mistake. He's happy with the outcome of everything there. They got that dragon as well, so they are one away from that Infernal Soul. And he may get himself a little bit of frustration taken out of poor Matex, who is desperately trying to get away. Actually has to pop that ultimate and just dash over the wall to safety. Eberos is a bit of a problem right now. Stride Breaker in hand. Very, very strong as DSYRE. Looks like they're setting up towards that Baron area. It spawns up in the next 30 seconds and just getting vision control of the whole area. They're even sending Eberos up, who's got a nice shove on that bot side. So we'll be slow pushing back towards them. And he's quite happy just to control the map like this. They're going to shove out mid lane. And it looks like the attention is just going to be towards probably forcing a bait into Baron.
Yeah, Manny has to actually be the one to go bot side, because if Matix, which he is going that way, shows up in the bot lane, DSYRE know that he doesn't have the TP to join any potential Baron fight. And if you can't win 5 versus 5, guess what? AB cannot win 4 versus 5 right here. Raltek is looking again.
Oh, Addy just about on the cusp there. They do get the hook. Teleports coming in. Looks like the fight's breaking up. The Weaver's Wall's not going to do too much. Just breaking them off.
That's a Baron.
DSYRE, they've got that kill. They've taken out the support, who's the main engage here for the side of Alior Bank, and attention goes towards this Baron. Now, there is a poke team. Could get a little bit of damage off here, but Eberos is going to be doing his best to body block Nash as well on the flank. And this Baron is going too quick. I don't think they're even going to get in range, because Nash, he's found himself a jungler. He does get himself bot back, but in comes the Featherstorm and he's low HP, and Nash is able to secure himself that kill. 2 kills over to the side of DSYRE. Many gets himself a little bit of damage off onto that Zyre. Eberos able to just about survive as they do look to try and put some pressure onto the ADC. Spotting out onto Zvens, and they are going down. Let's give a kill over to their mid. Double kill for Tristana. Back to Baron. This should just be a nice and easy one for DSYRE.
Yeah, I feel like AB need to get back on the drawing board right there. A very nice ace from DSYRE would pretty much solidify their victory right here.
He got the ignite.
Oh!
The spite ignite. Tragic.
Okay, you won that one. You won that one round, bro. You won that one. Of course, I mean, one less Baron, but I don't think it matters heavily right here. 11,000 gold in the lead. Next dragon will be spawning in 2 minutes, but I don't even think DSYRE really needs that. They do have the key factors to brute force right here. The only thing, you guys will think that this Rel play was a little bit weird. It wasn't though, because you're delaying the Baron push for however long this DSYRE is going down. So technically, the Rel down right there, you support dying, delays that Baron push, which allows your team a lot more time to push out these waves to fend off of Baroned up waves that will be coming from the set of DSYRE. So Matchek did a pretty good job right there, taking down DSYRE. And let's see this again. Of course, it was a 4 versus 5. Rel was dead all along, and every eyes went onto Nautilus. Nash on this Nautilus extremely tanky, flashes through the pit as well. There was no follow-up anymore. And when all the forces arrive, their levels up, their items up, their 10,000 gold up, they just slap them with their wallets and end up on this ace to take down, well, the delayed ace to take down the Baron. One saving grace again, the Rel, the ignite on the DSYRE delayed a little bit the Baron push, but the Baron push is inevitable. Everyone is back up and running, and they have the push on the top side.
Yeah, it's really on DSYRE to be able to close this one out. It's going to be hard for the side of Alior Bank to try and do anything about this. I think they can actually just jump in, throws down the Magnet Storm, but Rylek able to escape, and there's a serious amount of damage starting to come out from Many. He hasn't quite hit that 3-item spike, but the 2 items doing a lot of work already. Once he gets that 3rd, you will have to be a little bit careful if you're Zusnix or Alior. Oh! They do find themselves an ultimate into the depth charge. Addy forced away. Mindmac able to get away for now, and it does look like DSYRE, though. They're still able to crack open the base. They actually get the hook in, but the Unraveled Earth is down for a stun, but it doesn't matter. We'll see the end of Addy, and Alior Bank now starting to scratch their heads on what to do. DSYRE are going to be able to take a 2nd tower inside the base of the Polish representatives, take a 2nd inhibitor, and now it's really on Alior Bank to try and push forwards to see if they can find an opportunity to get a kill, but I don't think they're going to be able to. It looks like the resets are coming in. Dragon spawning up in 9 seconds, and this is going to be Soul over to the side of DSYRE. They got a reset out from Rylek, so it's going to be slightly delayed. Spotted out by the W, though, but response with the Scryer's Bloom does give them the vision. Eberos has come in, and here comes Rylek. He's got the Aphemus Chains in his pocket.
And he's got, honestly, a heat seeking ult rate in this particular game. Every single ult he's thrown at has found a target. I don't think I've seen one miss from him. What an incredible Sejuani performance from the PG Nuts team's jungler right here. Ralek gonna be heading towards that mid lane, and honestly, I saw AB pulling TPs for that dragon. There wasn't much contest right there. I feel like you need to take that last chance fight. You need to try and fight for something because it can only get worse, right? You fight for this dragon, you lose, they take soul, they end the game. But they're going to end the game nevertheless, right? Because it's going to be an Infernal Soul right now anyway, which you didn't contest. A bunch of waves are pushing in. Mid and top are going to be pushing in with super minions, of course, coming up. TPs are going to be thrown down. They're chasing money. It is going to be
oh,
the
no,
Tristana.
Ghost is on. Many, I don't think you're going to be long for this world, my friend. Pulled in and absolutely obliterated. The last lane that hasn't crumbled here to the shove from DSYRE, and all that Weaver's Wall's really going to do is just buy time for more minions. They're going the long way. It's so funny. Taking the scenic route around the rift in towards the base, and now jumping in, bopping the kills. Addy unable to survive. Zen's just about gets away, but he is taken down by the bleed from Eberos as down goes the final tower that isn't guarding the Nexus. The inhibitor as well will be quick to follow. Supers in every lane. No ADC, no mid, no jungle. Matix finds himself hooked up. The feathers go down. The feathers come back. And it's 2 quick kills over to DSYRE. It's an absolute whitewash of a game. Nothing Alior Bank can do as Many finds himself heavily chunked at DSYRE, trying to greed for those kills, but will finally fall down. The Nexus goes down. League of Legends by the book here by DSYRE. And Italy are 4-0 right now at EMEA.
Honestly, it was a fantastic performance from everyone included.
Yeah.
Top lane got that level 1 blowing enemy jungler's flash, spotting him in the jungle, keeping top lane pressure. You had perma priority mid with the Tristana. You had a 2-0 2v2 kill by the bot lane as well. Rylek with his ultimates on the Sejuani, they were heat seeking. He just could not miss. I think the entire team came together. I think PG Nuts are a real contender when it comes to EMEA Masters. People thought it might have been a fluke in spring that Matchcom made quarters, but I feel like DSYRE have a pretty good footing in this group as well.
No, they honestly, they look so clean there. I just Rylek, I think we've nailed it. We talked about it a lot, but like it wasn't just about mechanics. Like, yeah, he was landing ultimates and he was setting plays up for the team, but like it was just the knowledge he was using. He was just using the information that his team had gathered for him, and he was always one step ahead of AD. Addy just couldn't play that game. Like every time he went somewhere, Rylek was in the area, and every time Addy didn't go somewhere, Rylek forced a flash or got a kill or took tower plays for his team. Like he was just always doing something, and there was always a net positive for DSYRE, and it felt like Alior Bank just couldn't find that net positive at all.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know who can tell us about it a little bit better than we do? I think we have Eberos with us, if I'm not wrong. I heard our producer say that to us. Do we?
Let's have a look.
Yes, we do.
How you doing?
Hello, guys. Hello.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, all right.
That was an absolute banger game, and I mean, I asked it, what is going on in Italy, guys? Like, your region are 4-0 right now. Like, where is this come from? You guys are just looking so good. What's been going on over in Italy?
I mean, we are here to play, and we are not afraid of anyone. Like, we don't care who we play versus, and we're here to stomp everybody. Like, we don't care.
Καλησπέρα πάνω και από μένα.
Καλησπέρα.
So, I've talked a little bit to Adam, and I think you have a very Adam-esque type of champion pool up in the top lane.
Yeah.
You have a very similar playstyle to him as well. The early roams, the level 1 invades in the jungle, like the Shy as well. What kind of triggers that playstyle? Do you have somebody that you look up to play this type of champions? Or is it just, I don't know, natural born with this instinct to play that aggressive?
To be honest, I just feel like I can play these champions really well, and it fits my playstyle. So, like, whenever I see a Darius angle, I just lock it in. Like, I don't care. Like, even if it's blind, like, I don't care my lane. I just play for the team. So basically, like, I think I play those champions like Jax, Darius that can 1v9, so I always try my best to win, and I don't wanna like give my lane to enemies. I just play to win. Like that's my play style.
You know, you're one of the very few teams at EMEA Masters that actually give a lot of emphasis towards the top side of the map. Usually it's very bot-centric or mid-jungle-centric, but your team seems to be trusting you a lot to play the carry top lane. So not only that, but you do get resources. Your damage percentage is one of the highest that we have at EMEA Masters as well. So would you say your team plays different than all the others that we've seen so far at EMEA Masters?
I think my team can play like both roles. Like they can play towards bot, they can play towards top as well. But since I play most of the times carry champions, we path to top most of the times. But like it depends on every game. Like I don't think like we have different playstyle. I think we can play all playstyles, and it just depends on the game, right? Like I think that's the most important thing. If you can play both sides, like it's pretty good for a team. Yeah.
Oh well, he
yeah,
finished
yeah.
me too, so I'm gonna do the exit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Epiros. Good luck in the rest of your games. We're gonna let you go to get prepared. Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Και εγώ. Καλή συνέχεια. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Lovely
Okay,
to
Kiprin,
hear
are you
that
unmuted
from
now?
Eberos.
Yeah, you are. Okay.
I don't know, man. It's welcome to online broadcasts. Unfortunately, occasionally there are a few technical issues. I unfortunately missed the last question, but yeah, really nice to hear from him. It was cool to see how confident they were.
And
like,
it's gone again. So I'm going to pick it up from here. And I'm going to tell you guys that we're going to go into a very, very quick break. But stay tuned, because when we're back, we're going to have BK Rogue versus SK Gaming Prime. And I've heard a little birdie that says SK Gaming Prime are favorites to win the entire EMEA Masters. So here we go. BKR versus SK Prime right after this break. Don't go anywhere.